Hello, welcome to my home. If you're new here, my name is Karen. It's the middle of the week for me, and I gotta tell you, when the middle of the week hits, I'm always extra tired. It tends to be middle of the week and then on the weekends. So I'm gonna take it slow today, which I usually try to do anyways. Yvonne asked for goulash for lunch. She's home today, so I am making that right now. I have not dealt with my dried herbs, so that's going to be next. But I'm just trying to kind of refresh the house, do whatever cleaning I can. I've got lots of projects in my head, but it's just going to be a wait and see. And then after I do whatever work I have energy for, I'm definitely going to start painting pine cones since I got my craft stuff upstairs. I'm still using this broken oil spray, but I got my craft stuff upstairs, which you might have seen 2 videos ago. And so now it's all right handy, and I want to make some pine cone swag. So that will be, even if I do more stuff after that, I'll still put it at the end of the video. I know not everybody is going to want to watch me craft, but I know some of you have requested it, so I want to make sure I have that for those of you who would like to see it. So thankfully my husband emptied the dishwasher this morning and then filled it with whatever was in the sink. He was trying to make these, I don't know if I would call it a biscuit. We get these potato rolls at one of our local small stores, and they come in squares. So he was trying to replicate that. I had found him a recipe on Pinterest. He said, no, that's not it. So back to the drawing board. I mean, they're not bad, he said. I'm not having any, but just not what he was hoping for. So I like it whenever I can do a recipe that kind of uses up, you know, like I had this half a green pepper in there, green bell pepper. So my mother always used to make this recipe. My husband calls it goulash. I call it American chop suey. But, you know, the hamburger, diced tomatoes, pasta was really all my mom did. And my aunt used to make spaghetti sauce with bell peppers, and I always loved it. So I like bell pepper. Also, my mother would put the diced tomatoes in a blender, which Yvonne and I, we like it without being in the blender. I also, as a low-carb meal and low-calorie, I'll do it with turkey burger. And I won't even put in the pasta. I'll do the onions. Actually, I don't even do onions. I do onion powder, bell pepper, lots of bell pepper, and then the Rao's marinara sauce. And honestly, I don't even miss the pasta. But you could use riced cauliflower if you're trying to stay away from pasta, zucchini, zoodles, you know, spaghetti squash, any of those things. We are going to use these shells today because she certainly does not need to be low carb. And I had part of a bell pepper in the fridge, and I also have part of a red onion in there. So I am using these up. I think red or purple, whatever you call them, onions are so superior to yellow. But we do have both in the house. If I'm going to have a sandwich or something, it's definitely purple or red, whatever you call them, onions all the way. So Yvonne and I, whenever we do like a soup or if we do the goulash, we like broth. So we do like to have it loose and not thick. So funny because I was watching Kimmy from the Wads this morning. She had like 6 soup recipes, I think, and she's the opposite of me. She likes it more like a stew, whereas I love the broth. I find it very home comfort food-esque. So I'm just sauteing the peppers and onions. I purposely put the peppers in first because I like them very broken down, and more so than even the onion. Whew, that onion got me. So what I'll do is drop the pasta in boiling water with some salt, maybe a little oil. You know me, I always use avocado oil. And then I'll be putting the hamburger in here. I'm just going to use a small amount, you know, the full recipe. We always use 3 cups of elbows. I have shells today for a whole family. That would be for a family of 5. So I just did 1 cup of the shells, maybe a cup and a half. I can't even remember. Ooh. And then I'll saute the hamburger. I'll put the diced tomatoes in here, and then I'll add the pasta once it's cooked. So I need to get the hamburger out of the fridge. This is 3/4 pound here, so I'm just gonna kind of decide almost a ½ pound, I guess. I'll put in here. There'll be leftovers, but I know she'll be only too happy to eat leftovers. I'll add some salt and pepper to this. This would be good with crushed red pepper too. Which I might do, I'm thinking about it. My family is not a big sandwich eater. They like to have 2 suppers. So we always have tons of dishes every day. And clean this up now. I opened 2 cans of diced tomatoes, but I'm not sure if I'll use them. I'm just going to see how it looks and go by that. How, you know, juicy I want it. My pasta is cooked through. I'm going to add, I think I am going to do the 2 cans. Honestly, I think we'll like it better that way, since we're not crushing it. What I could have done is crushed 1 can and left the other, because now I'm feeling like 2 was too much. Oh well. Maybe I'll feel differently once I add the pasta. This is great with grated cheese on top and salt and pepper. Like, you can grate your own cheese. Boy, I'm really glad I backed up on the pasta. It's time to take off this sweatshirt. So, you know, you can just bring this up to like a little simmer boil and then serve. I love to freshly grate Parmesan, so I think I'm going to do that with this. I am going to do that with this. Just grate some cheese on top. Woo! If I can get a hold of it. There you go. Yummy and beautiful. All right, time to package up these leftovers. And if you don't like, you know how pasta keeps absorbing liquid, you could always add, you know, some more tomato or a little tomato sauce when you heat it up the next time. Or a little water, a little veggie broth, beef broth.
Anyway, there was a house in Franklin across from the church that had extra turkey, but they only had a little patch.
I thought these were glass. They are Rubbermaid when I got them on Amazon, but they're actually plastic. But you know what? When you push it down, you can hear the air, and it has such a seal. It's actually hard to get the lid back off. This parsley, you might have seen me dry yesterday. It took about an hour at 170 degrees. This doesn't come off as easily as the oregano did, actually. So it would have been just as easy to take the leaves off, dry them. Whereas with the oregano, it was easier to dry it stem and all. Maybe I'll use scissors.
What is that you got?
Parsley.
Oh, it is. Okay. So what are you doing with these?
That's chive.
Oh, okay. Chive's good stuff. I like chive. I tried to load some stuff today. Get everything done.
Me too, like laundry.
I gotta leave here in a bit. Take Ava. Sit down.
So I'm making a lentil bean chili for tonight.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
The hot dog.
I said to Rachel, I just told Dad what we're having tonight. He said, oh, I'll have to get out the hot dog. I told her you'd put hot dogs in it.
I gotta get away from the hot dogs that I am using now. I need to go back to
Get real ones.
the Cayennes.
Yeah. Don't be buying your hot dogs at Dollar General. That's just nasty. Look at me drying herbs. Who am I right now? Martha Stewart?
Aren't you supposed to just run your hand down there?
Yeah, it didn't work. It worked with the oregano, but...
Let's see, you just pick one up like this.
Yeah. Make sure you do it under the camera.
Alright, so I have one leaf here.
Mm-hmm.
I see what you're saying. It's not really...
Maybe I didn't leave it long enough.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that that may be an indicator of whether it's dry enough. I don't know.
Who knows? It's dry enough to eat, so...
Yeah, and you can still grind it up.
Yeah.
Like, it can be put in the coffee bean grinder
Right.
to make it lighter. That's cool. We've done good this year.
Yep.
Compared to past.
The only time we ever did better was probably Lebanon.
Right. And when you,
Yep.
in the neighborhoods, we had a big haul of certain things like corn and potatoes.
Right.
I think this year was better in a different way.
Right. In case you're wondering, Lebanon was a town that we lived in for 5 or 6 years, and we had a garden, and a friend of ours, someone who went to our church, would till the garden for us, but the land there was so fertile. You could grow anything. I remember throwing some daylilies in the woods, and they just grew from right on top of the leaves. You could grow anything there. It was amazing.
I was gonna bring my laundry upstairs, but now Leo's in my basket.
He just is into everything everyone's doing all of the time.
Exactly.
This big jar is how you know I'm really hoping for more. And now we'll do the chives. For these, I'm just gonna cut them up small. I should probably just put it in a coffee grinder, but I think I'm just gonna start hacking away. One of the things I was thinking about is there's been times we've bought fresh herbs from the grocery store for a recipe and they don't all get used and then they end up going to waste. And now I'm thinking, why didn't I just dry them? Or why didn't I do what you guys are saying? Some of you put your fresh herbs, you cut it up and you put it in ice cube trays with oil. Other of you just use water. I would be more inclined to use water in case I'm going to do something with the herb where I don't need the oil. I wouldn't want to add the calories. But if you're going to be using oil, you know, to fry something in, you might as well put it in oil. I should have used the big jar for this one. I used the small one. Oh, excuse me, yeah. I used the small one for this. I should have used the big one. Oh well. I can always put it in the big one later. I'm really sore today. My back and my hips are really sore. Not quite sure why, but it could be because the weather pattern has switched from a summery pattern definitely to fall. Beautiful fall, but fall, 50s and 60s. So whenever we go through seasonal change, I always have a higher level of pain. So I'm trying to get stuff that I really want to get. I mean, it's not like I'm pushing myself to work. It's just, oh, I just realized my neighbor has more fence up. Anyway, I'll show you that in a second. I just realized that I'm more tired, like I've said, I'm more tired Wednesdays. And I am sore. So what I'm doing is in between every task, I am sitting for a few minutes. So right now I'm out on my deck and I just noticed, see, this is why I like to get out of the house. Sometimes I'm actually going to lunch in 2 days with a friend, so I can't wait. It's going to be great. Can't wait. Anyways, you know how it is, how you're at your house and when you sit, you see work, no matter where you go. This huge stevia plant, I really don't want to waste it. So I need to get that in and dried very soon. I also still have marigolds, so I might cut some of those and put them in my vase. Yeah, got some coffee here. I'm here for the boo. I hope you're taking time to relax and you're not just like work, work, work. I got my Maine sweatshirt on. I live like a tourist. It doesn't matter that I've lived in Maine for 59.5 years, does it? Love to know what you're doing. I always love when you share in the comments section what you're up to. If you're enjoying the weather pattern where you live, oh, And if you've been in the path of Helene, oh, there's a bug in my coffee. That's nice. Guess we'll put that down. I would love to, know and be praying for you. It's so sad. And I had just heard that like the peak of hurricane season was over, and now I was looking at Reed Timmer. He's like a storm chaser, a really famous storm chaser. And he was like talking about all the ones that they're watching. And I thought, let's just pray. All of us pray that they just calm down to rainstorms and no loss of property, no injuries, loss of life. Oh, goodness. Anyway, I hope you're taking rest. I hope you're doing well. There was a nice long video up today, and I hope you're enjoying that. It's the one where I'm like preserving food. Here I am again with food, but after this I'm going to clean the bathroom. Then I'm going to put supper on. I'm doing a lentil bean crockpot chili. It's a brand new recipe, but it's all flavors I've used before. The only thing I'm going to do different is it's brown or what's the other color besides red for lentils? Green, brown or green lentils, because those hold up better. So because I have red, Rachel told me, she's my resident expert, she told me to wait until like 20 minutes before serving and then add the red lentils, even though they're dried, because they just absorb quickly and can go to mush quickly. So I'm going to take her advice and do that. I'm very excited. I'm in a lentil phase right now, but part of it is I have a bag of lentils, and I'm really trying to make sure I'm planning recipes that use the things I have in the house. So it has lentils and black beans in it, has bell peppers in it, and it was definitely on the list for this week. I never did tell you guys the list. I wish I had brought my list out here. I know another one is a blackened chicken, but that was the one and only thing I told you. I have a black bean soup. Maybe I did tell you, because this is all feeling very familiar. Did I tell you? I can't remember. And I was excited to show Rachel. I found this pasta bake that I could make with her. We could do it together, or she could make. But it's tofu ricotta, so you can make like lasagna. She has done tofu ricotta before. Girlfriend can make a cheese sauce without any cheese. That's amazing. So, well, I'm just going to sit here and relax for a minute and stop talking and listen to the birds, and then I'm going to go in and clean my bathroom. Okay, I'm in for my break, and I'm going to clean my bathroom, and then I'm going to get supper in the crock pot. So I'm going to do a little zhuzhin in the bathroom.
Do you think the trash needs to be emptied?
I've been in the laundry bathroom for an hour now. I just got a little footage of him attacking it. He's really having a good day. Like a fun day for him.
I was going to take this footage and move it and put it where it would make more sense, but then I thought, no, let's be honest. That wouldn't be honest. So what happened was I went into the kitchen to get a trash bag for the bathroom, noticed that there were dishes in the sink, and I was thinking, okay, I want to get the dishwasher started so that the dishes are clean and I can empty it before we have supper, so that we don't have a problem of being able to fit all of the supper dishes in the dishwasher. So if you give a mouse a cookie and you send her into the kitchen to get trash bags, she just might find herself doing the dishes. If you're new here, welcome to my home and welcome to my brain. This is how my brain works. I always have a reason for what I do, but my reasons, I will say, don't always make sense to others, and my reasons don't even always make sense to me when I am editing, but here we are. Seriously though, I do try to keep my channel super duper honest, so you can see times when I'm tired and human and I'm not getting it all done in one day. I'm not getting it all done in one shot. I am taking breaks, taking rest. I am feeling tired sometimes, having a headache, being in a bad mood, all the things that we all go through. I'm pushing through just like all of you and learning not to always push through and to go low and slow, which honestly helps you get more done, being gentle with yourself and practicing some slowness in the day.
Okay, dishes are done. Dishwasher has been started. Now we can head to the bathroom.
Obviously, the trash is my first order of business. And getting the trash off the floor. Whoops, I forgot an extra trash bag. Actually, I might need a couple of trash bags. This was the extra trash bag. What was I thinking? The first thing I like to do is to dry dust everything off. It just goes so much easier when I do this, especially where I have a clothes dryer in here. And so there's the dust from the toilet paper, there's dust from the dryer. So it just does get very dusty. And so if I go in with a paper towel or cloth before I clean, it goes so very much better. That was very dusty. I'm down here. Okay, I get all my cleaners. Lipstick. I have like pollen from the flowers I've had in here. I need to get more flowers in here because what I had in here died. This is dust flying everywhere. Oops. All right, now I can come in with cleaner.
I don't know if you noticed, but the whole time I was dusting, I was just letting it brush onto the floor. It was brushing onto the sink and then I'm brushing it onto the floor because it was my complete intention to sweep the floor. And then, I don't know, lately I get sidetracked so easily that I completely forgot to sweep the floor or to vacuum the floor. So that's going to have to go on today's list because it is the next day. It's the morning that I'm going to be putting this up. I did this, what's today? Today, I don't know what today is. Today is Wednesday. Yesterday was Tuesday. Okay, so I was cleaning on Tuesday, and today is Wednesday, and I need to go in there and quickly vacuum the floor because all that dust would still be on the floor from yesterday. Oh my goodness. I tell you, I don't know where my brain is at anymore. I keep going upstairs and forgetting what I went up there to get, and then I think I'm going to do a certain chore, and then I completely forget to do that chore. Oh, that didn't work. I think I want to switch these out. Ooh, yes. Make it like, you know, when cats see another cat, even if it's a picture and they get confused. And I'd kind of like to do, I gotta think about this.
All right, realizing before I get into like wall hangings, I really need to get supper in the crock pot. I digress. So I'm gonna go do that now, and then I'll come back and kind of figure out wall decor. I can honestly easily get so carried away. I forget what I should be doing. What time is it? Oh my goodness, it's like a 4-hour on high and it's almost 2 o'clock. So yeah, better get to it. All right, this lentil and black bean chili I love because you just dump everything in the crock pot. So I'm doing this on high because it was like high for 4 hours or low for 9 to 10 hours. I don't know if that's for the lentils because it called for brown or green lentils. Okay, that was 2 cups of corn. It called for brown or green lentils, and I'm using red, which cook quickly. So 20 minutes before I serve, that's when I'm putting the red lentils in. 1 cup of salsa. I'm putting these in the order that is easiest. 1 can of drained black beans, drained and rinsed. Mine are drained and not really rinsed, which is fine. And then 28 ounces of crushed tomatoes. I bought the low salt, so I'll just add a little extra salt, it's fine. And then 3 cups of vegetable broth, but if you don't have vegetable, use whatever broth you have. It doesn't really matter, especially if it's beef broth. I mean, this is a vegetarian dish, but if you don't care about it being vegetarian, use whatever broth you have. Chicken broth, beef broth, really doesn't matter. This is vegetable broth. It's actually vegetable stock. It's Nature's Promise, which is our favorite brand of broths and stock. What do I do with the lid? All right, I'll find the lid after. And then it was, I think, 4 cloves of garlic. 3 to 4 cloves. I have been so into lentils, but it was partly because I found a bag of red lentils in the pantry. Good ones too, you know, like a really good brand, and I thought, I don't want to waste these. All right, before I put the spices in, I am going to go ahead and chop my onion and my bell pepper. It called for 1 green, 1 red. I seriously feel like I remember buying red and yellow, a bag of red and yellow bell peppers, but they're not here. So I'm going to have to go back to a store at some point here and get all the things I did not get. I am rusty at shopping inside the store. I'm used to ordering carefully and then they bring it to me. So I'm not quite sure what happened because I do specifically remember being there at that spot looking at which would be a cheaper way to buy it, but it's possible I got distracted and just bought green. I don't even know. And then it called for a medium onion, and I have a half of a purple one and a half of a yellow in the fridge. So I'm going to do, you know, half red and half yellow because I always like to use up what I have before going to something else because I wouldn't want these to go bad in the refrigerator. So I'm going to use them while they're good. A lot of these things, you know, a recipe is a recommendation, but you don't have to do it exactly. Just like I'm not going to worry about not having a red bell pepper. I have a ginormous green one, so I'm just going to do the green. I'm not even going to do 2 green. So, whoops, here's the onion. And then I'm going to chop this yellow onion. It always makes me feel good when I use something up. Definitely focused on great way to save money is by not wasting food, right? The best deal is the food you don't have to purchase. That's why, like, it was a little bit cheaper to buy the bigger bag of onions, only by like 20 cents. But then I thought, well, if I don't use them up in time, I'm more than wasting the 20 cents on onions that might end up getting thrown out. So sometimes if something's in bulk, but I'm not going to be able to use it before it spoils, I would never buy it at the bulk price. the in goes the yellow, and then the only other thing I have to chop is this green bell pepper. And then I'll probably set an alarm on my phone so that I don't forget the lentils. Because that would be me. I'd be serving this and going, oh, what's missing? Oh yeah, my lentils. And I'll put the lentils beside the crock pot for another reminder. I find chopping very satisfying. We have some Tostitos in the pantry, and so I'm going to serve the Tostitos with it. I'll also put on rice because I know my daughters will all want to put this on rice. And then they might crunch up chips to put on top of that. So they'll put the rice down, and then the chili, and then the Tostitos with cheese, sour cream, maybe some hot sauce for a couple of them, only, you know. Oh, that's what I was going to do. Okay, so it called for a jalapeno, but what I'm going to do in place of it, because I have one person that's not into big spices, is I'm going to do a can of mild chilies in its place, just to add the flavor. I actually could have waited to put the black beans in too, but I think they'll be okay. I just have these mild chilies, and I'm putting that in there instead of the jalapeno. Now for the spices. 2 tablespoons of chili powder. These are the things I use like almost every day, if not every day. And then a teaspoon of dried oregano, which is so exciting because I get to use the oregano that I grew in my garden. Look how dark green that is. Then a half teaspoon of smoked paprika, and there's been definite times when a recipe calls for smoked paprika that I don't have it, and I will just go in with regular paprika. So if you have smoked, use it. If you don't have smoked, don't even worry about it, because if you don't use it regularly, it may not be worth the money to purchase, especially if you have paprika in the house. And then salt and pepper. It doesn't say how much, it just says to taste. If you're using the brown or green lentils, it is 1 cup. If you're using brown or green, you would go ahead and put it right in now. And if you're using red like me, you're going to want to wait till 20 minutes to a half an hour before you're ready to serve. This looks lovely. Such an economical meal, but hearty, and it makes a lot at the same time. So excited about leftovers. Time to get this kitchen clean. I just took some time and literally watched TV. I was too tired to paint pine cones. What I think I'm going to do, I'm trying to think if I have anything tomorrow. I know I'm taking my daughter to the doctor in the afternoon. So what I think I'll do is set my desk up for painting. And then maybe I'll paint first tomorrow. Sometimes you gotta take your break first so you get it. I mean, I've taken breaks, I just haven't had the energy to do anything constructive with those breaks.
Now I'm emptying the dishwasher from where I had filled it and started it earlier that you got to see. And so it'll feel good to have that done before dinner is ready. And let me give you some feedback on this lentil chili. First of all, it was a mistake not to put the red lentils in earlier. They didn't cook as well. Sometimes when I'm using a crock pot, I can't believe how hot it is, but if there's a ton of liquid in it, it feels like it takes forever for it to heat up. So I also realized afterwards it had said 4 hours on high, and I think I maybe did 3.5. It was like 3.5. We ate on the early side. So the lentils were very firm. I had put those in for like a half an hour. So if I were to do it again, I would put the lentils in at the beginning. I mean, nobody wants mushy lentils, and they boil on the stove in 20 minutes. So we thought we were good, but we really weren't. The other thing about this recipe is it was very tomatoey, maybe a little too much. We felt like the smoked paprika was too much. I don't know if it didn't break down well, but it felt like every once in a while you were getting a mouthful of smoked paprika. Oh, wait for it. Here's a reality check. Listen to this big old yawn. Ugh. Yeah, that pretty much says it all. Okay, so if I were to do this recipe again, instead of doing 28 ounces of crushed tomatoes, I would do a 15-ounce can of petite diced tomatoes. If I wanted to keep this vegetarian, then yes, I would use the vegetable broth. But since that's not normally a concern for our family, I would probably use chicken broth to balance out the tomatoey, because I recognize afterwards there's no sugar in this, which I was pretty happy with, actually. And let's see, there was a lot of acid because you have the tomato and you have the bell peppers. I did a can of green chilies, but if you'd have done the jalapenos instead, that is also very acidic. So I just think it felt very tomatoey to us because this was such a high acid recipe with not a lot to really balance that out. We didn't use the toppings it suggested, which was like, let's see, cilantro. I didn't have any sour cream in the house. We did top it with cheese in our own bowls. We did use crushed red pepper in our own bowls. But I do feel like you need a little something, maybe a little bit of sugar or honey to balance out all of that acid. And you could also give any recommendations you might have in the comment section below. But I did like it, but we didn't love it. We have a lot of leftovers. So I'm going to ask Yvonne if she would want that for work. And if so, I'm going to freeze it. I might freeze it anyway. And then when I thaw it out, then I will maybe add more things to balance it out next time. Because I am trying to do that with leftovers, is when they are freezable and I don't think they're going to get eaten, is just freeze them, and then maybe in a week or two we would be in the mood to have that meal again. This was the fence I was talking about. It wasn't there before. I always tell you guys, oh, somebody remind me to put those lentils in. I always tell you guys I'm going to show you something and then I forget. That's what I feel like. I need to remember to put the lentils in. I'll be putting rice on. And then that's it. Like, I didn't actually go up and bring the paint stuff out. I'm just too tired today. I cannot get out of my own way to do it, but I'm super thankful for what I did get done. So if I don't get to say it later, I hope you remember God loves you and I love you too. Definitely can't wait to see you next time. It's only 4 o'clock, but the days, they are getting shorter. Here is tonight's supper. There was rice and then the chili and then the chips and the cheese, which did help balancing out the recipe. Hey, I hope you enjoyed this video. Remember, as always, God loves you, I love you too, and I can't wait to see you next time.